in your business. This is series episode 1 out of 12, where I'm going to come to you and tell you the 12 things that I will never again do in my business. Hi, my name is Emilia, and I empower good girls. I empower good girls to give themselves the freedom and the permission to create a business as unique as you are, using custom mom-friendly standard strategies. One thing, the very first thing I wanted to come on here and tell you about in this series is that I will never again sacrifice time with my kids for my business to become successful. When I started my business out 5 years ago, I had so much fire under my butt to get my business going, probably like you do today or like you have felt in the past. And my ambition, my desire to be successful, my desire to make money in my business, to prove that I could actually create a business that was going to be making money and that was deeply meaningful to me, put in the end so much pressure on me that I was ready to sacrifice time with my kids. And the problem is that I thought it was okay to do that to begin with, that getting my business going was only going to be a matter of a couple of months. And I started out my business just as COVID was hitting. And so I would be in this very office where I am today, and I would hear my husband, while he was not working, with my kids, making them lunch, making them dinner, doing their homework with them, playing games with them. And I would hear them and I would think, God, is it really worth it? And then I would continue. Because my answer at that time was, yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it because I'm doing something that is so important, not just for me, but for our family. And so I was willing to sacrifice time with them short term. And what I didn't realize, what I didn't know then, was that in making that decision, I was actually setting myself up to make that my baseline and my fundamental in my business. I was making it so that in my mind, without me realizing it, the only way I was going to be able to succeed, my recipe for success included, among other things, not spending time with my kids and with my family. And little by little, I would hear my husband with my kids and I would feel the deep sadness within me of like my heart just breaking in two. How do I choose between having a business that makes me feel extremely proud of myself and successful, and a family life that makes me feel like a good mom and like I'm doing something that is also so important to me and is at the heart of my highest values? How do I choose between the two? How do I reconcile them? And so I decided short term I was just going to work on my business. And then I would come back to my family. When my business was successful, I would have time for my kids. When my business was making more money, I would be able to go and take my kids to the park. When my business was ... And the problem is that the more I told myself that, the further I actually made it possible for me to dedicate time to being with my kids, because I feared that every single second I spent with them was a second that I was taking away from my business being successful. And I did not know how to not do both. I did not know how is it possible for me to have a successful business and be a successful mom. How do I bring the two together? Because they appear to be completely contradictory paths. And what I learned is that in choosing only one option, which was the option of putting everything I had into my business, and then later I'll come back to my kids, Well, one day I realized the one thing I can never have again is time with my kids. Every single second that I allow to pass where I am not being with them, the mom that my heart and soul calls me to be, is a minute that is gone forever and that I will never get back. And yet I realize that every minute that I miss in my business making it successful is actually a minute that I can use later. It is never gone. I can always use that minute at a later time. That was what allowed me to decide that no matter how successful my business became or didn't become, it didn't matter. I was never again going to make it conditional for me to spend time with my kids. And I'm not saying spending every single minute of every single day. I'm saying spending the time with my kids that makes me feel proud of the mom that I am. Where I look at them and I see in their eyes my love for them and their love for me. And it doesn't require every single minute of every single day. But it does require me to choose to prioritize that time with them over time with my business. And so today, for example, when it is 5 or 6 o'clock, depending on the day, I turn my computer off and it's the end of my day in business for me. I'm with my kids. I'm with my husband. I'm with my family. And the same thing in the morning when I wake up, I don't jump into my business. I'm with my kids, getting them ready for school, making them breakfast, loving them, talking to them, doing all the normal morning things. And then I take them to school. And then I jump into my business. And I think this is at the heart of the mistake that so many of us are making, is that we want to have a successful business. And we just don't know how to make choices like this where we feel stuck in between two things. And so that's when I specialize in showing you that when you're doing the good girl thing like I was, where I am a former perfectionist, a former good girl, I wanted to do all the things in the right way. But I couldn't be a good girl in my business and a good girl as a mom at the same time. I had to make a choice. And so how do we make that choice? What I excel in is what I was excelling in doing, learning to do for myself, which is giving myself permission and freedom to choose what was right for me. To understand things like this realization that I will never get that time back with my kids, but I will be able to have more time with my business later. And it gets to be okay for my business to take more time to succeed. But for me personally, it would never be okay for me to continue sacrificing time with my kids. And so I stopped that. And that's what led to me being able to also today help other moms create a successful and sustainable business using mom-friendly strategies. Because also part of the reason that I was sacrificing my time with them was because I was learning strategies that were not adapted to my mom life. They were too complicated, requiring too much time, too many technical parts. As moms, we need simplicity. We need fast action. And so that's what I bring you when we work together. If you're interested in just having a chat with me, whether it's learning about working together or just having some free advice on your business. Right now, I am offering free one-on-one consultations. You can come, you can go, you can work with me, you can not work with me. My goal in doing this is to offer you free advice and to get to know you, because I want nothing more than to know more about you, even if it's in one call, to help boost your success in your business. You will find the link if you comment below here, coaching, and also in my bio. Loving you, sending you so much peace and success. And more than anything else, delicious time with your kids. Talk to you tomorrow. Now I have to know, how do I turn this off? I go like that. End your life. Bye.